Well, some of you are super quick. So, like I said, when you get done, you want to get Excel fired up in whatever form you know how to do it. I'll show you, though, if you are confused. Like, Excel, what is that? I'll try to help you as best I can. In the meantime, if you do have your quiz done and you want to send it towards the middle, I'm happy to start making a little stack here. All right, do I have all the quizzes? I think I do, maybe. That was quick. So you want something like this on your exam? Okay, deal. It'll be there. But first, though, we just want to make sure that you got the right idea. I'm not going to do the whole thing, but here it is. Where is it? There it is. So this first one, the frequency, it says there's 25 pencils in this particular data set. So what's that? 11, 20, 15. So this should be 5, is that right? Okay, and then relative frequencies, you could do this either like this, 1 over 25. Some people were like, can I do that? Or you could do 0.04, which is 1/25. And then this one's going to be 0.08 or 2/25, etc., etc. Oh, and then cumulative relative frequency is going to be what you get when you add up everything less than or equal to the thing there. So this is going to be 0.2, I believe, which is 5/25, and then this will be 0.32. Is that where I am? Yeah. So, I'm sorry, my little thing is getting in the way there, but each time you're just adding up everything, just adding in the next one down. So does that look all right? Any questions about that? It's pretty straightforward, super easy. Hopefully you got it all right, and we can all enjoy getting hundreds on this. Let me just staple these together so I don't lose them. Okay, that's apparently this class is too big, so I have to staple it twice. Okay, onward. Okay, so today we're going to be working with Excel, so if you don't mind, I'm going to be up and down, but you don't have to do that. So let me close this. It's going to complain. No, I don't want to save it. Okay, so if you have Excel already installed on your computer, you should be able to open up something that looks like this. Just go to Microsoft Excel, boom, it looks like this. Another way of getting Excel is to go to the, let's see, not that. Why is that like that? I don't know. Let me move this over here. I don't know what that is. Just a minute. This is what I want. Okay. So another way to get Excel is to go to the internet and you go to Microsoft 365. So, and you log in there, and it should have all your files and stuff, but one of the things that you should be able to do is you should be able to go over here to the apps and go to Excel this way. I'm not a big fan of using Excel through the internet, but I know some of you may not want to install Excel on your computer because it takes up, what, a couple of thousand gigabytes? I don't even know. But you might be, saying, I've got to have all that room for my, my side hustle as a influencer on Instagram, and I have all these photos that I can't delete, or whatever the situation is. And so, but whatever it is, maybe you don't want to install Excel on your computer because of whatever reason. You can use the online version, but let me know if you run into any trouble. So you gotta stop me if you're stuck on something. I tested out the online thing, but for a variety of reasons, I'm going to use my locally installed version for this. Yeah, here's what the online version looks like, just so you can see. It looks very similar, and it will be very similar. There will be a few minor differences from what I'm using if you're using this. Same thing goes if you're using a Macintosh. If you find that there's anything that's at all different from the way I do it, please let me know, because if you find a slight difference, you might say, oh, that's not a big deal, but there's probably 3 or 4 other people in here with a Macintosh, a MacBook, and they're saying, I have no idea what to do now. So please do let me know if there's any issues like that. Okay, next. So let's go back here. Oh, okay. So each time we use Excel in class, I'm going to ask you probably to download some data that I've got on our web page. So I don't have this stuff labeled very well, like it just says section 1, section 2, but section 3, I'll start labeling this as like our data. And so you can see classwork 2024 1/22. So that's our date today. So if you click that, it'll download or it'll do something, I don't know. Anyway, once it gets downloaded, if you're using the online version of Excel, the Microsoft 365 in the web browser version, then you're going to have to, I don't know, do something to get it into your Excel. Otherwise, you should be able to just click this download, and it should open right into Excel. What does it say? Excel can't open 2 workbooks with the same, oh. Yeah, you won't have that problem. I have that problem because I've already got this open right here. There we go. So it'll look something like this. A couple other things, then we'll get started for real. You will probably at some point during the semester, when we're working with Excel, we're going to work with Excel maybe once a week. I don't know, on average, I should say. Maybe once a week on average, because there are a lot of things that are really cool that you can do in statistics, but it's really hard to do them by hand. I guess I should mention this, that 25 years ago when I started here, 27 years, when I started teaching statistics, I made students do everything on like a calculator that looks like this, and everything by hand, all the formulas. So anything that Excel does the heavy lifting for, you should be thankful for Excel. I know it's annoying, and some of you don't like using computers, but it is so much better than having the formulas and using a calculator like this. I mean, it's night and day. It's so much better. So anyway, but if you ever get to a point where you're stuck, or you're looking at your screen and you're like, that's not what I have on my screen, or whatever, stop me. It is so much better if you stop me early. See, the thing that, like, whenever I teach, using Excel, one of these things often happens. You'll have a student who gets stuck right at the beginning of class, and then right at the end of class, they come up to me with their laptop and they're like, right at the beginning, I got stuck with this step. And I look at their computer, and they didn't even do step 1 because they got stuck. And so they were lost the rest of the class period. I'd much rather pause, make sure everyone's at the same place, and then start up again, rather than have it come to the end and have you say, yeah, I got lost back at step 1 or step 2. So please do stop me. You know, I know you've got friends next to you who are great resources, and they might be able to help you quickly. Sorry, it's just one of my things. Angela, it's okay. Yeah, everyone over there is like, what? It's our secret. Anyway, yeah, you can talk to Angela later and find out. But anyway, I lost my train of thought. So stop me. You can use your friends, but seriously, if your friend isn't helping you quickly enough, stop me and say, I just need a minute. And I'll pause and I'll wait for your friend to help you. I don't have to be the one. I'm not that arrogant to think that I'm the only one who can help you in here. But please don't let me move on when you're stuck at the beginning. Okay, so I know this is all going to be super easy stuff, but we're gonna go through it anyway. I do have PowerPoint. We're going to toggle back and forth. So if you don't mind, I'm going to have to sit my butt down in here because I don't have a big stool to keep me up high. So this is the way it is. So what we're doing today is we're doing frequency tables and histograms with Excel. And the PowerPoint is mainly for me to keep me on track so that I can make sure that I cover everything that I'm supposed to. Okay, so first things first, everyone should have this classwork file sitting in front of them, and you should be able to see this and be happy about it, hopefully. Now, I've got a bunch of tabs at the bottom. I can hardly see this, so here we go. That's so much better. You don't have to zoom yours in like I did mine. But this stuff, these are the data that you gave me. Thank you for doing that, by the way, at the beginning of the semester. And so this is the number of years you have been at MVNU. This next one is siblings, the number of siblings that you have. The next one is the animal. This is the dog. Oh well. I've already done something here. Dog person, cat person. That's all right. We'll do that one a second time. We have MLK. This is the year that you said you thought Martin Luther King was assassinated. The money was how much money you have in your accounts. And then the phones, I have the year that you think the iPhone was first introduced, and then the year the Android. I have other data, but I just wanted to pick a sampling for today. And there's some, actually I might save this. There's another thing that we might want to do with these data. But anyway, let's go back to years. That's the first tab. So you see the tabs along the bottom. So if you get stuck, if you're looking at this saying, I don't see any tabs, that's when you want to stop and ask the question. Okay, so what we want to do is I want to make a frequency distribution. Yes. Elisa. You don't see tabs? What are you using? I'm so curious. Just a minute. Thank you. Are you using a computer? Ooh, where is your tab? Well, here, click that little square up there. No, it's a little square, yeah. No tabs? What is this? Where are my tabs? That's so weird. Here, is there a view? That's so weird. I don't know where it is. You don't have tabs?
Well, no, I have. I'm looking.
You're missing numbers?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know where it is. That's so weird. Now, is this Excel? Wait, what are your computers? There, use this, and then open it in this. So go to and then you know where this is found on your computer. Yeah, but go back to the open Excel again. We're getting there. So, you want to open it? gotta close the other thing. Yes. Okay, phew. Okay, we've got that solved. You know, it's going to be a little bit of a rocky ride at the beginning. Some of you are like, yeah, I did Excel when I was in 3rd grade. And that's okay. So you'll just have to help your friend. And Ashley has. So I know you've got a map, but you've got a map. But so can you look at it? I know nothing about Marshall. No, I don't need to. If you're so if you go to downloads folder, hopefully you can upload it into it. Let me go see if I can do it on my computer. Should be the same. Okay. Just a minute. There was a question. Let's see. Okay, let's see, file, open, custom this device. Huh. Yeah. I don't know. Actually, is it coming? Is it working? Still not working? So why don't you want to use the Excel that's on your computer? It won't open? You guys have Macintosh. I don't know what you do. Android very much. Yeah, I don't have the touch to the Libby has the touch. Let Libby do it. You drag it down to the Libby. Yeah, I feel bad though. Okay. Okay, so is anyone else not able to open up the file? We got one person. Wait, you aren't? Wait, do you have a MacBook? Yeah, see. These MacBook people. Yeah, I'm so sorry about that. Look at that. Oh, we have the helper. Yeah. Here, let me see what, I want to see what he's doing. Sorry. Yeah. We'll do it, Okay, one more try, and then I want to help the online people like Landon and Ashley here. So give me a sec here to see if I can figure this out, and then we will give up and we'll just move on. I don't want to do that though. So let's see. Here's Excel. Okay, so we have Microsoft Office 365. I go to Excel, and then I go to Upload. And then I go find, now here's where there's a problem, is where is the downloads folder on the Macintosh? Because for me, the downloads folder is obvious. And then I've uploaded, and then what happened to the one that I just uploaded? Upload. Classwork. Oh no, we're going to do news sheet every week. So we got to get this solved. So I don't know why. I mean, here's this. I don't know why it won't upload. This is so dumb. Copy. Okay. I'll try to figure out what the situation is with the MacBook people. My apologies for not getting this figured out, but we do need to move on. So today is relatively simple, and you can always watch the video later to enjoy doing this again. So our first task is to do a a frequency table. And the way we're going to do this is we're just going to copy the data, then use the advanced filter using unique values, and then count if. I know that sounds like a lot, but that's mainly there to help me remember. So you can do exactly what I'm doing. I go to the years column. This is in years, the years tab. Click the little A at the top, and then right-click, click copy. Or you can use Control-V or Command-V if you're suffering with a MacBook. Then go over to column B and do Control-V or paste. So you can paste either however you want to do it. So you'll notice that now I have two columns that are exactly the same. Now that I've done that, you click the B there, that thing, so that the B column is all the same. And up at the top under Data Tools, and I believe we all have this even if you're using the online version, there's a little button that says Remove Duplicates. I need to get a little zoom thing, don't I, so that you can see that. But it looks like, let's see, do I have a zoom? Just a minute, magnifier app. Ooh, maybe I do. Oh, that's way too big. Hold on. How do I turn this off? Oh no. Oh crud. What in the world? I've messed up. I don't know how to turn off the magnifier. Oh wait, I see. Okay. Okay, phew. That was a mistake. Okay, so I'll try to figure out how to use the magnifier app, but for now, what I'm pointing at here is this this little button that has a little X. It looks like a column. It has an X on it. When you hover over that column, you get remove duplicates. So it says remove duplicates, and then it'll complain, expand, no, continue with the current selection, and let's see, blah, 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 click OK, and then it says it removed a bunch of duplicates. So notice what it's done for us is it took out all of the duplicates. So now this is just, those are the answers that people gave when I asked them, how many years have you been here at MDNU? Next, I want to know how many people fell into each of these categories. So up here, I'll type frequency. And this is going to equal, so then down below, now whenever I type a formula, I'll type it, and then I guess I can show it to you a second time after I show you the answer. So right underneath frequency in cell C2, type equals COUNTIF, and then open parentheses, and then type A:(A). I'll explain what this means in a minute, and then comma, and then B2, and then close parentheses. So what this is doing is it's going to count everything that's in column A that looks like this. Yes, Ethan? Are you using the, did you expand selection by a mistake? Yeah, here, let me back up. So let me back up. So if you're at the frequency thing, you're in good shape. I'm just going to move this over so I can just do this again, just for anyone who is stuck. Okay, so we start. So if you're still stuck trying to get this thing here, so you're going to copy column A, paste it in column B. Once you've got column B looking like column A, click column B, and then click the remove duplicates, and then this is essential. Do not expand the selection. You need to continue with the current selection, then click remove duplicates, and click OK. And that should get rid of the ones that you don't care about. Yes, Zoe? Let me come look. Are you using, let me see what you're using. Oh, it's under data. I should have been more specific. So under data, and then it's over there. Yeah, sorry, I'm rushing. I need to slow it down. Bring me back. So there are various selections up here on the ribbon. The remove duplicates is under data and under data tools. And that should be the same. I checked. It should be the same if you're using the online version of Excel as well. Did you get it, Ethan? Yes. Anyone else? Yes, Luke. You need help? Okay. I need to make some videos for this class. Okay. Okay, so next, we've got our frequency here. So you got COUNTIF, A:(A), comma C2, and you hit enter, and there's that. Now, anytime you want to copy a formula, you can click this little box. I don't know if you can see the little box at the bottom right corner of the selection. Click that little box and pull it down, and it automatically copies the formula down. So now this is COUNTIF, and you're counting the 2's, and here you're counting the 3's, and so on. I want to do it again. Amazing. Okay, just a minute. Let me delete this column because it's in my way. Okay, so let's pretend that I didn't do this. So I'm clicking the frequency, the one that I've got, the 59. Everyone should have 59 there. You see when my little cursor turns into a little plus sign in the bottom right corner? Click that and drag it down. Drag, drag, drag. And it copies the formula down. There's other ways to do this. You can just copy and paste down, but this works. Yes, sir. There it is. Yeah, so just like Ethan, if you get stuck, you can ask me to show you a particular cell, and I'll show it to you. Someone else had their, someone else? Yes, Easton.
So something I found is that if you like right click, select column A, and if you're on home screen, you go all the way to the right, this little box of analyze data, you can find like the table for company users.
Okay, that's great.
Something I found.
Yes, okay. Let's stay together, but yes, that's a good shortcut. Anything else, other stuck people? Except for the, how's yours? Is yours? You got it to work!
I just restarted.
Amazing. Landon, did you restart your computer?
3%. Getting there.
Oh, you're installing?
Yep.
Oh, nice. What did you delete all of your social media posts?
No, I just emptied my bathroom.
Oh. That's all it took. You had so much garbage on the computer. Very nice. Okay. So that pretty much does it for this. So frequency tables, they're pretty straightforward in this regard. Where's my, there it is. Relative frequency table is pretty easy as well. Whoops, because all you're doing is you're coming up with the relative frequencies. So let's go back and show you how to do that. First thing we need to know is we need to know how many students there are. So I'm going to make a relative frequency. Relative frequency. So I need to know how many of you there are on this table. Now you remember how we had the example with 90 students? There are no longer 90 of you on this table. And the reason is that some of you chose not to answer some of the questions. I just deleted you from my data set. Sorry. But anyway, so that's why there's not going to be 90 people in this list. But don't fret. We can still figure out how many there are. So over here, we need to know how many. So let's see, I'll call this in. So that's kind of confusing, isn't it? It's column F, but I'm going to put in at the very top. And underneath it, I'll do equals count A. Wait, count A, is it? Or is it count? Number of cells that contain numbers. Yeah, just to count. Count A colon A. That's it. So I want to know how many numbers there are in column A. And so this will tell me it's 84. I must have deleted 6 of you. It's not that I don't care. It's just, well, I don't care. Okay, so we're going to do relative frequency. Do you know how to compute relative frequency? Hopefully you do. You just did it on your quiz. Here, wherever the quiz was. Relative frequency was the total number divided by the number in each category divided by the total number. So in this case, you had like 1 divided by 25 or 2 divided by 25. Here it's going to be divided by 84. And so here's how I'm going to do this, once again, so that I can be as efficient as possible. I press equals, and I go over here to the 59, and that's cell C2. And then you press divided by, and then just type 84. So C2 divided by 84. And then hit enter, and you should get this as the relative frequency. Let me double click that so you can see it again. It's cell C2 divided by 84. If you've shifted your data one way or the other, then you might have to use a different cell reference. But each cell has a coordinate sort of, so that you have cell C2 is that cell that we're interested in. Anyway, once you get 0.702, you want to copy that formula down, and once again, you can grab this little handle down here, bottom right corner of the cell, and just drag it down, and it copies the formula down, and you get the relative frequencies all the way down. So those are the relative frequencies. So not too bad so far. Before we go on, let me just show you something you can do which it'll make my spreadsheet look a little bit better. Up at the top, I just selected relative frequency. Notice that relative frequency kind of bleeds over into the next cell. I'm just going to go back to the Home tab up at the top, and I'm going to click Wrap Text. And what that'll do, okay, I'm going to have to make this a little bit bigger. There we go. Now it's got the word relative frequency on separate lines, so that it looks a little bit better, at least to me. I kind of like this better than the way it was. Ashley, you caught up now? Amazing. And Landon, you're at 52%?
No, it's not looking at all.
Awesome. He's got it installed. Thank you for everyone who is helping your neighbor. All right, onward. Next idea that we have to deal with is the cumulative relative frequency. I guess I need to make this cell even bigger. Cumulative relative frequency. There we go. Okay, so this one's confusing, so I want to make sure we're all in the same place. Let me just pause and see. I know some of you are helping your neighbors. Thank you for doing that. But if there's anyone stuck that needs a little bit of extra help, or you just need a break, like a pause, we'll pause, take deep breaths. It's always good to take 5 deep breaths when you're getting frustrated. Once we're all settled, and once Hayden has Luke squared away, we'll get going again. What do you think, Ty?
I can't find that merge thing.
Merge?
Yeah, whatever you call it.
You need to make it look pretty?
Yeah.
Okay, it's, where is it? What is wrong with your computer? It's on the Home tab. There. Red text. Yeah, red text. Good job. Uh-oh, Zoe.
Why don't you sort of forget relative frequency?
Oh, yummy, I'll just click it. You mean this cell right there? Yeah, it's exactly the formula that you used on the quiz, which is the number over there divided by the total number. So equals C2 divided by 84. Luke, you okay back there? You sure? All right, just want to be sure. Okay, let's do cumulative relative frequency. Now that we've got our relative frequencies. So cumulative, what we want to do is we want to add together all of the relative frequencies from here upward, So what I'm going to type in is going to not make a whole lot of sense at first, but then after we copy the formula down, hopefully it'll make more sense. So bear with me, I'll go slowly. Here I'm going to type equals sum, open parenthesis, and then I'm going to type $D, $2. Oops, there, $D, $2. I'll explain in a minute. And then put a colon and type D2, close parenthesis. I know that's going to be like a bunch of gobbledygook to you right now. I'll explain in a minute, but just trust me on this, type that. When you hit enter, you should just get 0.70238, the same number as the previous cell. So here, let me just show you that again. So far, so good? You got 0.70. I know it's all a bunch of gobbledygook right now, but let's see if I can explain why I typed that. Now what I'll do is, yeah, what? This, yep. Let's see, can I go like that? There we go. All set? No, it's still not working? Make sure your dollar signs are in the right place, and as long as you haven't shifted things back and forth so that, you got it now? Okay, excellent. Any other complainers? Not that Ty is a complainer, sorry. Okay, so let's see. Now, what I want you to do is copy that formula down all the way down to the bottom of your table. So you should get these numbers. And then I'll explain what the formula does after you've copied it down, if you have these numbers here. Good. Let's take a look at the formula. If you look at the first cell, it says the sum of $D, $2, $D2. Okay, lovely. Now go to the second cell. That's the second one down, the second number, the 0.94. And that says sum of $D, $2, D3. I bet you can guess what this is going to say. It goes down to D4, and the next one goes down to D5. This illustrates the difference between putting dollar signs and not putting dollar signs. When you put dollar signs within a formula in Excel, it says to Excel that you want to use that number no matter what. That number is the one you want to use. Whereas when you don't put dollar signs, if you move the formula down, it will shift the cell references as you go down. So this one is stuck right there, and then the other one moves as you move down the table. So you'll see me use dollar signs and sometimes not use dollar signs. That's what the dollar signs do, is they just make the cell reference absolute, so that when you move the formula, it doesn't shift this like this one got shifted. Yeah, what do you think? What don't you have? Do you have this in cell E2?
Everything but the parentheses.
You don't have parentheses? Thinking. Why? Oh, you need a sum. You need sum. S-U-N. 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 Here. Now copy this down. There we go. Ignore it. You can delete the rest of that junk. Okay. Yeah, you need the whole thing. So whenever I type something in, you can't ignore a couple of letters thinking, those are unnecessary. So yeah, do the whole thing, and then you'll be good. Anything else? So, in this thing, the word sum, it just means add them all up. So here it's saying add all of these up and put the answer right there, and sure enough, it does that. And here, this one adds up all of those and puts the number right there. Beautiful. Okay, what do we got here? Let's see, we've done relative, we've done cumulative. Histograms, okay, this is good. Okay, we're going to be okay. Because we're getting close to where I want to be. Okay, so if you have the tabs at the bottom, let's see, which one do I want to do? Let's do MLK. Yeah, let's do MLK. That'll be fun. Okay, so you know what a histogram looks like. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a histogram. Do we want to? Yeah, we're just going to go right to the advanced version. I'm going to make a grouped frequency histogram. So grouped frequency histogram just means I don't want to put a bar for 1965, another bar for 1966, another one for 1967, another one for 1968. That's too many bars. I want to group the numbers together, maybe count by decades or maybe half decades. Whatever the situation is, that's what I want to do. So here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to create what's called the, let's do it this way, lower, what is the word here? Lower class limits. Why can't I remember the class limits? So we'll make lower class limits and upper class limits. So we're going to do both of these. Give me a sec here. I'm going to make both of these wrapped so that that's a lot better in my mind. Now, I don't know if you remember taking this survey, but the very minimum, the very lowest that you could have chosen to make your number was 1950. So we have to start at 1950, and that'll be the lowest of the lower class limits. And let's just count by decades right now and make the upper one to be 1959. So that's the lower class limit and upper class limit for the first grouping. So if I'm going to make a histogram in just a moment, and that histogram is going to have 1950 to 1959 as the first group. The second group, 1960 to 1969, 1970 to 1979, etc. So hopefully that makes sense. So now we'll just type in 1960 to 1969, and then, I'm sick of typing. So watch this. You can actually highlight what you've got there, and Excel is smart enough to know what you want in the future, I guess. It's like AI, I guess. But just grab that little handle at the bottom right corner and start pulling down, and you'll see dates showing up. Whoops, I went too far. I think the highest number I let you use for a date was 2010 or 2015. Okay, so we'll go to 2020. 2019. There. So, it probably would have been quicker if I had just typed in the numbers. But anyway, you want to somehow get a table that looks like this. Let me zoom out a little bit. It's going to be a little smaller, but I think that'll be helpful. So lower class and upper class limits are there. There we go. So see here, I've got 1950 to 1959, 1960 to 1969, etc., down to 2010 to 2019. So whenever you look at a histogram, there's going to be these class limits. They're the sort of the brackets, the groupings that you've grouped things into. In this case, I'm grouping the dates that you gave me into these groups. Okay, next, what we want to do is we want to come up with a count, so a frequency. Frequency. And so what we're going to do is we're going to use a command. So this is going to be a formula, and the command is this. You use equals frequency, open parenthesis, and then I don't know if you can see this up here, but hopefully you can see it on your computer. When you type equals frequency and then open parenthesis, it gives you a little cheat sheet. Kind of gives you a hint as to what you're supposed to do. It says, number one, you're going to put in a data array. A data array is just your data. It's these numbers here. And so I'll just type, I don't know if this will work. We're going to find out. I'm just going to say all of column A, Emily. Okay, what do you need help with? Highlight the whole thing? Let me see what this guy does. Why is he doing this? Here, press escape. No. Highlight. Wait, is this a MacBook? No. Why is the mouse not moving? You can always type them all in. I guess, yeah, that's good enough. It's fine. It doesn't matter if you have too many. It's all the dates now, Todd? Or did it just copy the same thing over and over again? That's beautiful. Oh, you do have some weird dates. Why do you have some weird dates? What in the world? Okay, here. Oh, it's because you don't have the right starting point. 1959. Just redo this one. Grab this. Is that one? Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, I'm showing you some shortcuts. You can always just type in 1950, 1960, 1970, and I'm regretting showing shortcuts because they seem to be long cuts for some of you. Anyway, so you type equals frequency A:(A), and then press comma, and then it says bin array. The bin array are the upper class limits. And so I'm gonna use, I guess, D2 colon, how far down do I go? Oh, can I not click over here? Just a minute. Can I get down there? D8. So I'm using these there. And isn't it nice that it highlights what you're interested in? When you press enter, this magic thing happens, and it fills out the entire table for you. And this should work with the online version as well, so that from 1960 to 1960, where'd the 1950s go? There it is. From 1950 to 1959, there are 12 people. Yes, Landon? I sure can. There it is. So anyway, it gives you all of them. Once you type this, it'll fill in the entire column for you. Okay, the last tidbit, and I'm so sad that we can't get to cheating with Excel, but I'm pretty sure that you can figure out how to cheat with Excel. But let me just show you how to get a histogram now that we've got these numbers. So hopefully you've got something that looks like this. Anyway, now that we've got that, you just highlight. Let me zoom out a bit so you can see me highlight the whole table. So I'm going to highlight the upper class limits and the frequencies. There we go. So from 1959 to 2019, you might wonder what this 0 is doing here. That 0 is all of the data that's bigger than 2019, of which there is none. But anyway, so highlight your data like that, and then go up to Insert, click the Insert tab, and then you could select the recommended charts. That's probably the easiest. Recommended charts, and pick the one that looks like a histogram. Now there's a bunch of stuff that this is not a histogram yet. Let me zoom out a bit. That is like a bar chart. To make it a histogram, I have to do a little bit more work. Don't fret. I'm just gonna do this really quick so that you can see what a true histogram looks like. So that should be like that, and then yeah, even that's not great, but that's better than before. So anyway, this is sort of what a histogram looks like. I don't like the labels at the bottom, so I'd prefer the bottom to actually be like 1950 to 1959, 1960 to 1969, and so on. Okay, so let me just mention a couple of things before we close, because we only have 1 minute. So cheating with Excel, I don't really mean you're going to cheat with Excel, but what I do want to say is that as you look at the homework, you might say, wait a minute, I don't have to do this problem the way that they say I'm supposed to do it. Like they'll say, make a frequency distribution and do such and such. You can get around that and sort of, you'll figure out ways to kind of shorten the amount of work you have to do. Also, if you follow the instructions that they give you for making a histogram, it's not the same as what we just did, and it's okay, but the stuff that they want you to do does not work on the web version of Excel. That's why I wanted to use this method of using equals frequency rather than using the data analysis toolpath. So my apologies if you got stuck. Hopefully we'll pick up the pieces as we move forward and get used to using Excel.